BionicDance is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Nobody likes being told that they're wrong. The difference is, Christians have been told that they are wrong ever since the ancient origins of our faith, and so we're used to it. Nothing shocking to us that you may disagree with us, mock us, or even kill us.
What, and you think atheists haven't? Christians have gone through history persecuting and killing everyone who disagrees with them, and you say you're used to being told you're wrong? Christians have been throwing tantrums ever since their religion got started. Don't go telling the rest of us that you're the persecuted minority. Let's do this. Greetings, fellow space travelers. BionicDance here. The perception of atheists, what people think it means to be an atheist, is colored by a lot of extra baggage attached to it by believers, and those holding this incorrect description seem to like that perception, so no amount of correction or clarification will make a dent in their straw man. And, as Skippy here said, nobody likes being told they're wrong.
As leftism has triumphed over rightism, the liberation from religious dogma has ensued. We now have more and more people finding it not just acceptable to become an atheist, but they feel pressured to become an atheist and oppose religion, the worst of which in their eyes being Christianity.
This is what happens when your religion's biggest hero is a martyr. Christians just love their persecution, whether it's real or not. Newsflash, Junior, in the U.S. at least, Christians are in the majority. It's not that Christianity is the worst in an atheist's eyes, it's that they're the ones most making life worse for the rest of us. Between Christian homophobia, opposition to reproductive freedom, attempting to have public schools teach religious dogma about the origin of the universe, etc., you've made yourselves the bad guys. You don't know how to share and to play nicely with the other kids, and that's why you tend to find yourselves in our crosshairs more than any other religion. You ever notice how few Jews are trying to have laws passed that enforce their dogma? You ever notice how many Muslim videos on YouTube are just that Zakir Naik guy giving a long-ass lecture? If Christianity is the worst religion out there, don't go blaming us. You have only your own behavior to blame.
And so, like a frail newborn, the skins of these new atheists is like tissue paper. They've been convinced by popular atheist advocates that religious people are the bigoted majority that you must resist at all costs. A sort of demonizing of religion has now turned into a demonizing of the ones adhering to the religion.
If a religion didn't have followers, why would we even discuss it? If that religion's followers weren't acting like complete buttwads, why would we even discuss it? How many pagans have behaved in ways other people would find objectionable? Sure, like all religions, theirs might seem a bit goofy, but they tend to keep it to themselves instead of forcing it on everybody else, welcome or not. When I was living in Seattle, I was part of the goth scene. Unlike any other, where people take being dark and creepy way too seriously, sea-goths tend to be more like geeks who wanted to be scary instead of nerdy. All you really had to do to fit in was wear a lot of black. And, as a result of being in that scene, I've got a ton of pagan friends. But aside from the occasional brief mention of something pagan-y they were going to do, maybe that weekend, their spirituality never intruded upon my world, certainly not the way Christians attempt to. Like I said, if you're the bad guys, it's because of your own behavior.
Here's footage of a raging atheist physically and verbally harassing some Christian evangelists.
Back off! You call yourself Christian!
I'm afraid I'm going to have to call bullshit on this one. For starters, you can't read the signs these alleged Christians are carrying. For all we know, they may be some sort of kill them all message against non-Christians. For all we know. Second, listen to the very end again.
You call yourself Christian!
That kid shouts, "You call yourselves Christians." Now, I've never heard anybody object to someone in that way unless they were offended at a misrepresentation of their own affiliation. You call yourselves Christians sounds like a Christian telling other Christians they're giving him a bad name. Third, Dude Boy doesn't present a link to the original video in his description, or, as of the publishing of this video, in his comments section. I checked. Full disclosure doesn't appear to be part of his practice, apparently. So, yeah, I'm calling bullshit.
When a Christian behaves foul and out of order, he goes against his religion, the self-control that is taught in Christianity, being at peace with the world to the best of his abilities.
Dude, your avatar is a guy in frickin' full plate armor. And the Bible, yes, even the New Testament, is full of advocations of violence. And do I need to bring up the Crusades or the Spanish Inquisition? Those who say that Christianity is only about finding peace in their lives are cherry-picking the parts of the religion that they like and ignoring the nasty bits.
But when an atheist goes foul, such as this young man here, there is no fixed atheist doctrine which correlates his behavior, is there? He's breaking no rules in atheism.
The very fact that this is even being brought up shows the problem in the theist mindset, thinking of atheism as a religion without a God. Because religion is such a huge factor in their lives, they can't imagine people living without it, without that affiliation and loyalty to a group, without having joined something. And that's not how atheism works. A while back, there was a group of atheists who wanted to start something called Atheism Plus, which was basically atheists getting together to perform good deeds, charity and the like, in the name of atheism, as atheists. And the backlash they got from other atheists, including myself, was pretty ferocious. They were doing just what many of us felt was inappropriate, turning atheism into an affiliation, rather than just one trait out of many that make up a personality. So this notion of, quote, rules in atheism completely misses the point. It assumes that rules must come from religion, and if there is a religion-shaped hole in someone's worldview, there's nowhere from which to be told how to not be a dick. And given some of the quite horrible things the Bible says are A-OK, that's not a source I'd ever use to dictate my behavior.
As an atheist, what basis do you have to say that this sort of behavior is wrong? Am I to believe that you do have some atheist doctrine that says that this is wrong?
See? Atheist doctrine, he says. Like atheism must be the source of our moral standards, then it cannot come from another source. After all, his comes from his religion. So apparently our morality has to come from the same place in our personality. And if the religion slot they think must exist in everybody happens to be empty, then we cannot behave toward others in a way that could be considered appropriate. Apparently.
If not, then you're making it up as you go. And maybe that isn't so bad, at least until another atheist like yourself goes and beats up a pastor. Now you have to explain why it's wrong to brutally beat up a pastor. You will be in a constant state of defending your atheism whenever an atheist does anything that the rest of society or government thinks is wrong.
No, I won't. Because atheism isn't a religion, club, or organization. If someone who isn't a fan of the Dallas Cowboys football team kicks someone else's ass, am I, as someone who is also not a fan, obligated to defend my non-fandom? Of course not. And atheism is the same way. Just because I'm not religious doesn't mean I'm somehow responsible for the behavior of others who also aren't. By contrast, however, religions demand loyalty, affiliation, and adherence to doctrine and dogma, and in that way, theists are responsible for others who misbehave in the name of their beliefs, their identity, their allegiance. They've done something in the name of their religion, and that makes them the religion's responsibility.
When a Christian does something that is wrong according to Christianity, then other Christians need only refer to dogma.
The dogma that you've cherry-picked. And if they have done something wrong according to your dogma, then it's up to those of you who teach it to take responsibility for those you've failed to properly indoctrinate. Unlike religion, atheism teaches nothing and expects nothing with regard to morality and behavior, because atheism doesn't deal with these subjects at all. If there are no rules, you can't break them. And if people who happen to be atheists break a rule, blaming their atheism for it is misguided at best, underhanded at worst.
What atheism would have us be, absent from Christianity, is a vile and self-serving society where the only real purpose is...
We are machines built by DNA whose purpose is to make more copies of the same DNA.
Not seeing the problem here. And not seeing how vile and self-serving will automatically come from having no inherent purpose. If you need religion to teach you to not be an asshole, if you're so uncreative that you cannot come up with your own life's purpose, if you're so insecure that being a meat robot ruins your day, well, you have my pity. But clearly atheists are stronger than you. We live our lives every day knowing how fragile life is, how horribly people might treat us, that we have no purpose other than the one we make for ourselves. And we cowboy up, take that bull by the horns and wrestle it into submission. We protect ourselves and those we care about from life's dangers, not because we're atheists, but because we enjoy being alive and don't want it to end. We find what brings us joy and pursue it. We make the most of what we have, and we don't need some mystical sky spirit and his book of do's and don'ts for any of it. That makes us badass. Well, you are still children in the cradle.
Thank you for watching. Extra ecclesiam nulla salus, and may God have mercy on us all.
Las cucarachas entran, pero no pueden salir, and may the force be with you. Until next time, fellow space travelers, this is BionicDance saying don't run on automatic. Instead, please think. Reading videos has been found to cause fresher breath, enhanced metabolism, and greater sexual magnetism.